mostly.
Just downloaded it.
Yeah, then
That feels sadder. Okay, I see. It's depressing.
I just do that just so I can be.
There's
Feel
three
good,
more, right?
feel good
There's three more.
There's 3 more. There's
On
one.
the event page, it says there's 3 more. Like 16. No, today is one, and then
Today's
2 more.
Today is the second one, so there's 2 more.
Yeah.
Yay!
Today is the second one.
Today's the second one. Yeah.
No, you had one with
I
Jacob
have one with Ben Rubin.
and Jacob.
Mm-hmm.
So certainly.
Jacob's the pilot.
Okay. It's like, are we on air or something live? Why do we need to wait until 8?
No, that's just like it's a feel good. It's like
Everything is a feel good thing. What? This is so sad. That's why you have a little cover. I thought that was for the guest.
I'm
That
cold.
is just-
Oh, you can
No,
have
I
this
don't-
side. You can
I'm
have this
okay.
side.
No,
It's
no,
fine. Yeah.
I'm not that.
No, we can
cold.
share one.
I'm
We
not
share-
cold
I
yet,
think this-
Kevin. I'm not
You're
cold.
not cold yet?
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
right
very
under
soon.
the yellow light.
You
It's good.
talk to me, you feel cold. I feel cold. I feel cold enough.
Because you rode here.
Yeah, today is so cold. It's only got really.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's why I was in the coffee shops. Go to coffee shops in the morning.
I bought the heater.
But
you can use it.
Heater, I'm an old person. Heaters waste electricity.
And then
I mean,
you go
not
to-
waste. They use up electricity.
And
So
then you go to Louisa, just so you can get a warmer place.
also to eat.
You pay 50 NT.
But I was going to eat there anyway, right?
Okay.
Actually, no. I was going to eat at Mai Wen Da, but then they were filled with like there was no seats available.
它不是麦文达，是麦味登。
Mai Wen Da. Okay.
It's okay,
I keep
you're-
saying it's like Monday, Wednesday, and Da.
漫威，啊，对啊，漫威，漫威，
For me, it's on my back. Mai Wen Da.
麦文达。
I never read it. Right, properly.
Oh well.
Okay.
You see, doing podcasts is really weird. It's like you gotta start with a big ending like, "Hi guys, how's it going? This is Kevin. This is Chiu Ka-Un, and this is the Chiu Time. Welcome to the Chiu Time. This is an English podcast where I invite comedians. We talk about comedy, and that's it. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a weird. I never know. I couldn't figure out how to start a podcast.
It's not live. You could really just record once and then just cut and paste into it.
Yeah, that's true. I can just do that.
Yeah. Like, hello, this is Kevin again, and this is a podcast, and it's in English. Too many ends. I don't know. You can just keep repeating until you get a nice
And every
one.
episode sounds the same. This is the start. Yeah.
But who cares, right?
Yeah, true.
Who is listening to anything anyway? Sorry.
But the thing is, when the guests come here and they sit down, they feel like, oh, this is very formal. Maybe like, so the stage light because of this and this setting.
When the guests,
Yeah, not
Sometimes they are guests?
Not the audience, the you or other comedians like Ben. When he sat down, he started to feel, okay, should I answer a question? This is an interview like that.
oh, okay. No, I kind of like it because this is kind of like nice and warm.
Yeah, it is a good podcast
Yeah,
place.
yeah, in the winter.
Yeah, it is warm. It's good enough. I'm cozy with this.
I don't think the
podcast.
podcast is always done with questions though. Like I'm not a podcast listener. You should talk to Andrew.
Well, how does the conversation start?
They usually have something. They would be like, "Oh, hey, have you seen this weird news?" Blah blah blah, and then 2 people talk about it. Maybe I don't know. There's those
Hey,
kinds.
have you seen this news? The WHO wanna destigmatize?
Yeah,
去污名化
destigmatize.
destigmatize the coronavirus. Because usually Taiwanese people they call it 武汉肺炎.
Oh, they don't want it to be
Wuhan virus.
associated with
They'll say,
Wuhan.
no more Wuhan, no more Wuhan.
Like,
so
what are they
stupid.
suggesting?
I don't know. They just
The
like
Chinese 肺炎. That's one word.
Yeah, it's just a weird double standard thing. Like, cause that before you have the African pig swine,
Really?
African swine flu. Sorry, African swine flu.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, you
No,
didn't
but
know about-
but
No?
Ebola was
Oh, yeah,
not
that makes sense.
stigmatized.
You was in Beijing, so you didn't know anything.
Oh, it was like
Makes sense.
recently.
That was a pretty big news in the worldwide. Yeah.
Okay. But
The African swine flu. They didn't do anything about the African part, and the CEO, the boss, the big guy in the WHO. He's from Ethiopia. He's Ethiopian. He didn't do anything for his own country. Fuck
well,
him.
as a yellow person, I think this is kind of cool that Asians are finally considered better than the Africans.
Oh.
This is great. Yay! I'm sorry. Did that sound racist?
I thought it's always like.
It was always like that?
Sorry.
It was not always like that.
Really? When was it not like that? I'm not trying to be racist here,
when
but
you keep saying that the Chinese built the railroad in the U.S., why didn't they use the black people?
huh. Can't argue with that. That's my own
I
joke.
don't know.
Cool.
I'm thinking there were times
I don't
when
think Africans are lower than Asian. Well, at least now in America, I mean, being a black people, being a black person in America is cooler than being an Asian. I mean, you have your own superhero movie.
But they're going to have an Asian superhero movie soon, I think. Right? There's
Mulan?
this Japanese actor. No.
That's very politically correct, like Asian and women and Disney. Oh my god.
No. Marvel.
Marvel?
I think, yeah. I saw it.
What is it gonna be? What do you think a ideal Asian superhero can be? What's his superpower? Not spending money and live for a year?
No, I think his superpower would be like you don't need to Google. When you don't have internet, you'll know all the answers.
Oh yeah.
It's like a live,
so racist.
like an information machine. What? This is
That
like
is
the
still
only.
racist.
This is like the only stereotype that works in favor of Asians. That we are nerds. That's actually a good thing.
And we're good at math.
That is how we get jobs.
And we have tiny dicks.
That's not how we get jobs.
And
But it's like
some jobs.
no, but the dick thing shouldn't even show up in a superhero movie. It's supposed to be, PG-13 or general audience.
I mean, well, if
Like
it's a comedy.
Captain America's dick was never shown on screen.
Well,
Black
but it's
Panther's
shown. But Superman's dick is almost shown in his pant. The shape. I mean, he's a really tight pant. I mean, you can almost see his dick.
I wasn't looking into that region though. But like, what about Black Panther? Did he get naked? I don't remember. It would be
I
really
haven't
weird.
watched Black Panther.
You haven't watched Black
I
Panther?
haven't
It's a
watched
really
Black
good
Panther.
movie.
It might, yeah.
In the sense
I
that
might-
they
I
put
might
a
need
lot
to.
of good-looking actors,
Hmm.
all black.
I mean, it's not that I have any problem with black people. I just don't watch a lot of movie.
Yeah, it's not that.
I heard. I feel like it's kind of like a thing. If you say you don't watch Black Panther, you're not politically correct.
No,
No.
I
Okay.
don't think so.
Cool.
I'm not a big Marvel fan,
Me neither.
so if you don't
Mm.
watch Marvel movies, I don't think it's a bad thing. I watched Black Panther because it was free. I watched it on the computer.
Yeah, you parodied it.
Yeah. Is this allowed to say pirated in a podcast? I thought,
Why is it not allowed?
I don't know, because it's like not legal.
You can also say you do weed in podcast.
Wow.
You might be lying.
Yeah,
there's
okay, no, it
evidence.
is pirated, so. It was better than Wonder Woman, I can say that. And Wonder Woman is like a white woman, and it was very disappointing.
I'm still pondering about what's the Asian superpower.
Yeah, you said like he doesn't need money, right? Because he can
Yeah.
always save.
Very good at guilt tripping. That's
No,
Jewish.
that's not just Asian. What else is Asian?
That's everywhere.
I was watching.
Very good at building the wall.
What's his name? Ronnie Cheng. Is that
Ronnie
his-
Cheng,
Yeah, I was
yeah.
watching his. I've not seen his stuff, so I was watching
Did you
his.
watch his special?
Not the special, just parts of it, and it was funny because he was
Oh,
talking
yeah.
about why all the Asian parents want you to become a doctor.
Yeah,
That was very good.
yeah.
It was so maybe a doctor, maybe the
Oh, I
Asian
think, yeah,
superhero
yeah.
needs to be a doctor.
Indian doctors, Asian doctor, engineer.
Oh, I keep forgetting that Indians are Asians. Right.
They're
shit.
not
I
any
thought it
fun.
was China. You know, I was also computing like if the virus infects everybody in China and kills 3% of them,
Mm-hmm.
there'll
That's
still
not
be
much.
1.39 billion
Yeah.
Chinese people,
Yeah.
which is slightly more than the amount. I mean, the population of India. Still bigger.
Yeah.
But then there is a website called Worldometer or some Worldometer or something like that that keeps computing, estimating world's population in various countries all the time.
Yeah.
So you basically put it in a country, and then that number keeps growing.
Oh. Okay.
So this is the part that started making me anxious because the Indian population kept growing by 1 person per second.
Holy shit. Okay.
I
mean, that's
know
a
they're
bunch.
reproducing
Yeah.
very fast.
Yeah.
And then the Chinese numbers would grow by one once every 4 to 5 seconds. So soon the Indians will catch up, and then there will be more Indians than Chinese. It also means that probably they're having more sex than we are, which is kind of sad. Because when the number grows, all I could imagine is like, oh, people are fucking and making babies. Oh my god, another one, another one, another one.
The fallacy here is that maybe Chinese aren't just good at using condoms. I mean, yeah, they're
Yeah, maybe. Or they're good at killing.
They're good
because
at
like
oh
for
my
every
God,
birth, for every
yeah.
birth, they're killing another one, or half a leg or something. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh.
But it was
yeah.
kind of nerve-wracking watching the numbers. Like,
Yeah, India is gonna be the next China.
India's gonna be the next China.
Horrible.
Sounds like a threat.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
We gotta think of a new Disney character for India. Probably the piglet. I mean, you have Winnie
What
the
with
Pooh,
the piglet? What?
and the piglet. I don't know. It's a pig. This doesn't make
What?
sense. This doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I just
I was
can't
thinking,
think
I
of
thought
anyone.
Aladdin, but Aladdin is actually
I think
Middle
it's already
Eastern,
brown.
right?
Yeah, he's Eastern. You think of him just because he's brown.
Yeah, I saw the Jasmine, but
Yeah.
she's not Indian. I thought they had Indian. Mowgli was Indian. That's like a long
What's
long
the
time ago.
Chinese for Mowgli?
狼小孩 or something? No, like a 树林小孩. Mowgli. It's like one that like a little kid, like Indian kid, and then he gets lost in the forest, and then the bear and the black panther bring him up. And then there was like a snake that was a bad guy.
It sounds like an Indian folklore.
It's a Disney movie.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah, so they already had like an Indian thing even before, way before Mulan, 20 years before Mulan.
Let's talk about something that I have watched. News.
You only watch news. That's so sad. I'm sorry. Okay.
This is a sad podcast.
Alright.
When I actually forgot, when did you start doing comedy?
It was
2017?
No, 18.
2018.
Like February, I think.
2018 February. Wow, you remember clearly. Do you still remember?
Because it was after. No, not February. Sorry.
Oh.
I started doing it like late March, I think.
Okay.
I started watching you guys after the Chinese New Year in 2018.
Yeah. And then you realize, oh, I can do this.
No, I was watching every week and I was like, oh, this is really cool. Even though you guys were repeating the same jokes.
Yeah.
And then there was one guy that was really, really, really bad. That's true. And then I was like, I can do better than this. It was. And I did do better than this.
I don't want to be mean. I just I found out because lately I don't have that much energy to write and perform. But then I went to comedy for her night.
And then you feel like,
I feel like, okay, I can probably do comedy. It's not really. I just had I just set the standard too high for myself. This is okay.
because in the end, it was
Yeah.
like those 5 minutes. I was like, would I rather spend listening to someone else tell jokes that I don't know, like surprised by jokes that someone else is going to tell, or I'd rather listen to myself telling jokes that I know because I wrote them. And then for that guy, it was like, I think I'd rather listen to myself talk. He never showed up again, I think. Yeah.
Do you remember his name? He did it in Chinese, right?
No, he was a Taiwanese who decided to
He did it in
to do it
English.
in English. Yeah, and
Oh,
then I
okay.
think he wouldn't leave the stage, even though the hosts
Oh, that's
were
horrible.
getting closer and closer to the
That is
stage.
horrible. Oh my god. No,
Yeah.
that makes sense that he didn't come back again.
Yeah, and it was it was bad and long, I think. And then I think he came once for Chinese, but it wasn't that bad.
Mm-hmm.
And then I haven't seen him like since, I think.
Do you still remember your first set? What did you do on stage?
I remember it a little bit. I remember it a little bit because I wanted to do my first set before Amy left for Australia.
Oh yeah, the girl.
Yeah, and then I was watching Amy and Lizzie,
Mhm.
and then I said, why there are fewer women comedians than men?
Mm-hmm.
And it's because women find funny men attractive, but men don't find
Funny
funny
women.
women attractive. Yeah, men just like boobs.
Yeah, they find hot chick attractive.
Yeah, they find attractive women attractive.
Yeah.
Well, women with
I think part of the definition of hot is dumb. Sorry, this is very not PC, but
really?
I think that is one of the definition. And that's like one of the character of being hot is like okay, hot is like something you find it attractive, right? For men find it attractive, and then they want to have power over it because you can control the hot. That's why they go to a pickup artist classes and try to outsmart the girls and then pick them out and then get them back in bed. And one of the character of being hot, I think, is that the girl is not as smart as you are, so you are able to outsmart her, and then you can control her.
But
That's
wait,
I mean that's just a patriarchal logic.
no, that's chauvinistic logic. I think not patriarchal. Maybe I'm not sure actually. But wait, what if you no? Because you can just men look like images. You can just see a woman,
Yeah.
not interact with her, and find her hot. So you really don't know if she's smart or dumb.
Yeah, true.
I
But I mean,
think-
after you hang out with her.
So I think if she's dumb, she feels more accessible.
Yeah, exactly. It
But
feels
I think
more
a
less
smart
threatening.
woman, yeah, but I think a smart woman can be hot, but doesn't
course.
feel as accessible. So it's not really the dumb characteristic. Doesn't really, it's not part of being hot.
Yeah,
It just makes the hot accessible,
true.
right?
Right. No, I put it that way. Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, just based on, it's based on a logic like if hot is like something most women want to achieve, then sorry, in a more I don't know how to say in English. Fuck.
Can try Chinese. Do you think I will understand and translate?
Maybe 就是如果你在一个比较，你从宏观的角度来看，in the macroscope, you see, and girls are taught, women are taught to be like 温顺 obedient.
Yeah,
They're taught,
obedient.
they're taught to be
yeah.
obedient. They're taught to be not be so smart. They're taught to be I mean, at least in the history, not now, probably not now. And they are taught to be don't express your own feelings, don't express your own thoughts, don't talk too much, just listen. That's like a traditional women's 美德 moralities.
No, not 美德. It's like a
Virtues.
beauty standard, right?
That's like a beauty
virtue,
standard.
okay.
Some of the virtue and beauty standard have these in it, and that's some of and then these virtues and these standard of beauties was decided by men, and these I think it somehow forms the hotness, and it's not spoken like consciously. I think it's something a little bit pretty subtle.
So how is that dominatrix hot?
That's the thing. I mean, you can when everything is like that, there's be some people who don't like it, and then they like the opposite of the thing, or it's like oh, I heard that when I was looking up the cyber warfare, they say that your porn search keywords reflects whether you are conservative or what's the opposite of
Liberal?
liberal, whether you're conservative or liberal, like very, very accurately. Like if you're a conservative, you take moralities very seriously, right? You take traditions, you take all the morals very seriously. Like
So you're not even supposed to search for porn.
yeah, well, yeah, of course. But of course they search it because porn is something you only find taboo interesting. You only find taboo more desirable. So the conservatives were more likely to search about insects, about like son fucking moms, or like dad daddy issues, dad fucking girls, dad fucking their daughters, that kind of porn. But liberals, they wouldn't find those attractive because they are okay, more okay, not all of them, more than they're
Oh, that's
conceptually.
cool. Because
Yeah.
I only search for mom and dad porn. Does that mean I'm liberal? I thought that meant I was conservative.
You only search for mom and dad porn?
Like straight porn, just regular straight porn.
Regular housewife being.
Or amateur or teenagers or whatever. Like just not even like gay porn or daddy issues porn. Like the maximum is like, oh,
No,
like
that doesn't mean
brother
you're
and
liberal, because
sister-in-law.
liberal will search for bondage or BDSM or dominatrix.
I thought conservatives
Porn.
do that.
No, that's more liberal thing. It's there's statistic for that, because they take your body's rights, they take your personal right more seriously. So the thing is, anything like horribly violates your personal right, your freedom, you've been locked. That is a more taboo, and that is more desirable. So you.
So I'm not a liberal nor a conservative.
Yeah,
But I've
you-
searched for very boring porn. So that makes me an interesting person.
Hey.
I don't know. I thought of something though. I think the dumbness regarding hot and dumb. I think dumbness is a hotness enhancer. If you are hot and then
Oh
you
yeah,
are
yeah,
dumb,
yeah, 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 yeah.
that
yeah,
makes
yeah.
you hotter.
Yeah.
But if you are not hot like me, and then
Mm-hmm.
if on top of not being hot I was dumb, I don't think that would make me hotter.
No, sorry, no.
Right? So if you're already hot, then the dumbness is an enhancer.
Yeah,
But if you're not hot, then being dumb is just going to screw you over even more.
I guess it's like salt. If some dish is already good enough, you put a little bit salt in it, it's like, it's more tasty, it brings up the flavor. But if it's shitty,
Hey,
and
wait
you
a
put salt, it brings up the shittiness.
Did you just compare me to shitty food? Do you offend all the guests usually? That's why maybe people don't feel so comfortable on this chair.
Yeah, probably that's why. I mean, I just love roasting, and I'm not good at it. That's why it is so horrible.
Just like roasting, but not good at it.
Yeah.
Talk about adding salt to a shitty dish.
That brings up the. I think it's a good metaphor. I
Yeah,
didn't say
it doesn't
you
work
jumped
like
in
that.
it.
It doesn't work like that for like man though. Like a hot and dumb man.
Hot and dumb man is
I don't
now
know,
getting
maybe-
hotter and hotter. I think.
No, I don't know, I don't
That's
know.
why you see the 那个权力结构 the structure
The
is
power play.
their power play is slowly transferred, like is slowly.
Like what would be the equivalent to hot and dumb for like heterosexual
Men?
women, yeah,
Women?
and men. I don't know. It's I think the woman wants the guy to be smart. Actually, it's the opposite.
I mean, mostly traditionally, yes.
So if he's hot,
But if
and
there's a man who's hot and dumb, I mean, it's like a rich. I can imagine a rich mom having them as a pet. Like a.
yeah, but why does but then you're saying rich. But when you're talking about hot and dumb women, the guy doesn't have to be rich. All the guys would want it.
Yeah.
So it's not really.
So it's like a little thing. It's like it's emerging. It's not a big thing yet. It's like.
And I also don't know
It's
why
like
women
funniness.
prefer funny
It's
men. Like most women prefer funny men. I don't know why.
Yeah. And because most of men are not funny. That's the thing I learned from doing comedy. You don't have to be really funny to pick up women. You can listen to a bunch of jokes and then just memorize them. And then when you're dating, when you're hooking up, you just say a few of them and then they like you.
That's not the reason why women like funny men though.
Well,
Because most women aren't funny and men
Yeah.
don't necessarily like funny women.
one of the theories is that funniness is like a sign for intelligence.
Yeah, so that's true. So,
So
that makes sense. So
That's
women
a
like
biologi-
smart men.
that's a biological theory for explanation. Yeah, women like smart men, good gene, smarter gene, good better offsprings.
I don't know why women would want smart men because in theory, like biologically speaking, women will want to have sex with lots of partners, so they can choose the best one. And if the partners are smart, they can catch on to that. So it's really better if,
But they only have very limited chance to get pregnant. Right?
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't have unlimited eggs.
No, I
unlike men.
was thinking like a chicken. If I were a chicken,
What do you mean thinking like a
I
chicken?
wouldn't want the cocks to be all smart, because then they will know that I've been fucking around. So now, evolving from a chicken to a human, then if all the men were smart, they would know that they've been cheated on.
Oh, I see what you mean.
So I want strong ones, but maybe not smart ones. I don't know.
No, you still want smart ones for the sake of your offspring. I think.
But then
But you
why
just-
wouldn't men want smart women? Because then your offspring would be smarter too. They're just playing with quantities, right? Like, oh, let's
Yeah.
just inseminate many females, and one of them will be smart. I don't know. It's weird.
That's a good question.
Or maybe men are usually dumb, and that's why women like smart men.
I wouldn't argue against that. That's pretty
kind of-
correct. That's
yeah.
pretty not bad.
Yeah. Well.
This sounds like now the I don't think I've seen you on stage the first time. Or I forgot.
I think you might have forgotten.
Yeah.
I also
what's
talked
the-
about like being the first time, like compared to sex, which a lot of people do.
Oh yeah. And you also compare about like living in Brazil and living in Taiwan.
That was
and
not the
also-
first one.
That
That was
the
much
first
later.
one,
Yeah. That
Yeah.
was a good one, I think. That was a
Yeah.
good set, and it was much later.
How about like Brazil is having sex and Taiwan is like masturbating. It's safe and it's clean and you can do it anytime. But Brazil is like it's dangerous.
No,
It's-
masturbating was like Taiwan because it was efficient,
yeah,
safe,
yeah,
and boring.
yeah.
And having sex with another person was like Brazil because it was more exciting. It was dangerous, and it was messier. I think something like that.
How was it? What was it like?
Not efficient. It was also not,
Not
efficient.
efficient.
Sorry.
Like you spend a lot of time hooking up, finding the right guy, and then finally having the sex. I mean, jerk off is like 15 minutes.
You mean you spend a lot of time
Don't
hooking
question
up?
that.
No, I
I'm very
was like,
experienced in jerking off.
no, I was questioning the first
Why?
part. Like you have spent a lot of time finding the partner. You mean
Yeah.
here in Taiwan? Okay, not in
Alright,
Brazil.
yeah, not in
I'm
Brazil.
sorry.
All right, sorry. Ah, that's true. That's very true.
And then you mean personally me? Because I was like, oh wait, are we bringing personal information into the stage? Or was just like a you as in
you
one?
could- you
like
as the one, as
Oh,
one,
okay,
as
yeah,
anyone
so-
in Taiwan.
anyone in Taiwan? Yeah, maybe.
I mean, when I was hooking up, I spent like what, 2 weeks to get, more than 2 weeks, like 1 month to get one hookup.
Okay. More than 1
Too much
month.
information.
I spent, I think, five months
Wow.
to get one hookup. I think when I really started. No, wait. I started on Tinder about the same time. About the same time I came on stage. Actually, stage was coming to the stage was more fun. This is when I stopped Tinder, but but it's like it was. I think February I started, and then by July I got a hookup. Yep, 5 months.
Wow. Wow. When I first started,
And it was
to
a
be
really
fair-
bad hookup.
Oh my
to me.
god.
Let's not go into
No.
that. I think
was it a serial killer?
it would
too?
become a set.
You became a set. It wasn't a set.
No, I talked about the hookup in my set.
Oh, okay. Good.
Was he a serial killer?
Yeah,
I don't
was
know.
he
He
a
hasn't
serial
killed me, obviously. Not yet.
Does he
I
look
might
like a
actually
serial
meet
killer?
him. Huh?
You might.
He does look like a serial killer,
Oh my
actually. Yeah.
I think I've asked you this before. Were there any hookup that doesn't look like serial killer? Any hookup of you? Any of your hookups?
There was one guy that didn't look like a serial killer.
And one guy, cool.
Yeah. Out
And
of
the
three. No,
rest
I
of
only
them,
had
all of
three.
three.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
2 of them serial killer, and 1 of them no.
yeah, one of them, but that was the one that gave me the most trouble, actually, in the end. He was the psychotic one.
That's a.
He
okay.
played a trick. Yeah, he played a trick, calling me and saying that he had HIV.
Holy shit!
Yeah, for 10 minutes. And I was super calm. I was like, okay, I don't have it. You have it. Fine. We had safe sex. I probably don't have it. And he's like, how are you so sure? How are you so sure? And then after 10 minutes, he said, oh, I don't really have it. And I was like, oh my God, this guy is a psycho. Yeah, right?
What?
That is really bad. That was really bad. But he did not look like a serial killer. And then later, I was like, oh, maybe he wasn't.
He might actually become one. Oh.
Yeah, I know. That was pretty bad.
That
He's
is
probably
just-
still in Taiwan somewhere.
And that is so lame too. That's not even a smart prank. Oh my god. That is almost as bad as saying I have bomb in airport.
Yeah. That was because he knew I was Brazilian.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was like, oh, I know you're hooking up with other people. So he became more paranoid.
Oh, okay. That's weird. That's a weird complex.
So,
I'm sorry you
yeah,
had to go through that.
was,
I
yeah,
know it.
that was really,
Yeah. I mean,
that was sad.
you're on Tinder and then you ask your girl to not hook up with the other ones. That's it's just weird. Sorry. What is it like growing up in Brazil?
It was quite, like having Asian parents, they want you to excel.
Mm-hmm.
And it's easier, I think. It was easier to excel in Brazil than if we were in Asia. Because all the other classmates were lazy, or the parents
Don't
didn't
force it
ask.
that
Yeah,
much.
they just want you to pass. Like Brazilian parents don't want you to get 95 and above.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're an Asian kid, then you're usually in the top of the class.
Do you think that Asian mindset helped you in your adult life, like compared to a Brazilian mindset?
Yeah,
Or
I think so.
is it
The
true
first
that
part of
you're-
my adult life, yes, because I got into good schools, that
Mhm.
got me into good jobs,
Mhm.
and so on and so forth. I think.
And then the after part.
The after part is kind of like the first part of the Brazilians, I guess. We just lay back and relax and have fun. So it's like, yeah, I don't know.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's way more relaxed there, but that's pretty much it. And they don't take themselves so seriously in Brazil.
Mm.
Like people were saying on Facebook, for example, my Brazilian friends were saying if the coronavirus happened in Brazil, like the next day there will be thousands of jokes about it. Like people will not take it seriously. They were like, we will start taking it seriously when 2 million people have been contaminated. Before that, we'll be making jokes about it. And they have. Even now, they still have. They compare with the Corona beer. They have these memes about like, can some Chinese person cough on my ex? Can some Chinese person cough on our president? It was like, it's great. So, and then Americans are more serious.
That joke is both dumb and racist at the same time. Just how do you make
But
it?
it works. It's great.
Coronavirus. It's not even in Brazil yet. They're still making jokes about it.
Yeah, and then there were like people who are starting to say they have the coronavirus so that they can get priority care at the hospital queues.
Oh yeah.
So it's trending now.
Yeah,
Like
you told me
people-
about the story. The woman who lied.
She lied. She never left Brazil, and then she said she just came back from Hong Kong so that people would like treat her first. And then they had to put her in jail because they'll set the example. Otherwise, everybody would start doing that in our public hospitals.
At least while she's in jail, she gets drinking water.
Oh no, like Rio. Yeah, Rio has
Yeah.
a water problem still.
Yeah.
True.
So you grew up in Brazil, and
Yeah.
then after that you went to university in US.
No, I
No?
did college in Brazil,
You did college in Brazil
and then grad school in the U.S.
and grad school in US, and you've eventually you got a PhD in math,
Yes.
and I still remember that.
You still remember that I have a PhD in math?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
even though it's like so absurd and so not useful right now. I mean, what have
It's
it,
useful sometimes.
when was it useful? A PhD in math, in mathematics.
When people think I'm dumb, and I'm like, no, wait, I have a PhD in math. And then people
Just
are
to
like, what, really?
Yeah, and then you show them your.
Yeah, and then I show my diploma, like, it's
Is it
true.
a real school? Is it a real college?
It is a real school.
Okay.
Different from...
Different from your current
Current one?
Chinese medicine fake college.
My college is real. The program, I'm not so sure.
You mean the current one, the Chinese medicine
Yeah.
one? Okay.
It's just like a subsection that's like easier from the rest of the.
Yeah.
A lot of places have
Your
that.
college is not in WHO, and now we know it's very Chinese. It's a very
Taiwan is
Chinese
not in
organization.
WHO. I'm sorry.
Because we're not Chinese enough to get in it.
So it's okay. I don't know. Who cares about WHO?
Yeah, since they're in China now. So cool. You get a so after you got a PhD in math and you went to the job McKinsey, right?
Yeah,
You worked in McKinsey for 3 years,
4.
4 years. What did you? What's the 3 things you learned from McKinsey?
I learned that every list should have 3 points.
Every what?
Every list.
Every list should have 3 points.
Yeah, it's almost like you went to McKinsey.
Guys,
It's
this is from McKinsey. 麦肯锡. This is from the biggest corporate thing.
You
should learn.
actually asked me 3 things.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like you're halfway into McKinsey already.
Oh,
That's
shit.
pretty amazing.
Yeah. So every list should have 3 things.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then the 3 things I've learned. So everything has 3 things. Things have to MECE, MECE, M-E-C-E.
MECE. What's MECE?
Mutually exclusive, comprehensively exhausting.
I lost you mutually.
Like all the bullet points should
Uh-huh.
not intersect,
Uh-huh.
and then together they should be covering everything.
Oh. Okay.
That's
I think there's a reason why I'm not in McKinsey.
yeah, maybe. There's a reason why I'm not there anymore too. But then the third thing, but I didn't prioritize. I already fucked it up.
Okay.
We should always prioritize all this. So the first thing would be where's the money? The mutually
Oh.
exclusive, comprehensively exhausting, and then ideally 3 bullet points. And then a lot of PowerPoint on top of that. It's kind of
Wow. What? How come money? How come? I mean, of course, money is in the first priority, but why? In which aspect?
well,
aspect of
McKinsey is
money?
very expensive, so they charge their
Yeah.
clients $1 million to $3 million per month.
Holy shit.
So if they cannot show somehow
Mhm.
that they can bring more money to the client, then there is no project.
True. Okay. Wow. This is the 3. Okay. I should learn it.
Probably not though. There's like
No?
a book called McKinsey Way that probably
Oh,
says
really?
other things. Yeah.
And you already said everything about the book.
Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Cool. So after McKinsey, you I lost you here.
Then I
didn't-
went to Mozambique. No, then I worked for NGOs for a little bit in Brazil.
Okay.
And then I went to Mozambique
Mozambique for another NGO
for another NGO. And then I was there for about 3 years.
in Taiwan.
No, in Mozambique.
Oh, Mozambique. Okay. I thought I heard.
And
here,
then
so-
no, and then I went back. Then I went back to the U.S. and did 6 to 9 months of comics,
Oh, like class.
comic school. Yeah,
Comic
an
school,
actual
so-
school, like cartoon school. It's called
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Center for
school.
Cartoon Studies. It actually exists, and it's in Vermont.
This time it's like a semi. It's not a real college. Like a what?
Well,
kind of
it
center is
wasn't, but now it is.
It's-
If I didn't get the degree, but if you stay there for 2 years, then you get a MFA, Master in Fine Arts.
that? Wow.
And then the Americans can use that to teach art if they want, I think. I mean, it's like a master's in fine arts in any country, right?
Yeah.
What does that give you?
Like a PhD in mathematics.
No, PhD in mathematics
You show
actually give you
people,
jobs.
Oh, you don't call that beautiful? Look at me. I have an MFA.
No, hey, PhD in math actually gives you more jobs than
Yeah.
I think an MFA.
Can't argue with that. That's true. That's true.
Yeah, and then Taiwan.
Oh,
kind
and then
of.
after that,
No,
Taiwan.
then Brazil and then Taiwan.
Okay, it's like places, many places. What?
Like 4 places: Brazil, U.S., Taiwan, Mozambique.
I mean, compared to other people, normal people, it's a lot of places.
Why you compare me to normal people?
Because I'm Taiwanese. I compare everything to normal people.
I thought comedians were already not normal.
Yeah, that's true. Well, how come you started comic at the beginning?
The comics,
Yeah,
the
how come you
drawing.
started the drawing. Yeah.
I was in Mozambique and life was so fucked up that I felt I needed to vent.
Wow. Well, yeah.
It's like how I started stand up in
Yeah,
Taiwan.
yeah, true. Yeah, you
Life
stay in
was
Taiwan, life was
fucked
so
up,
depressing.
And then you do
you
comedy.
Start,
there
you need
go.
something to brat it
Yeah,
out.
exactly.
Yeah. Tell me more about the Mozambique. I think I didn't hear talk about that enough.
Have you been to the Philippines?
Nope.
Well, don't go there. But Mozambique is kind of like the Philippines, with fewer people and in Africa.
With no offense to Filipinos.
Actually, offending. Actually, I'm sorry. I love the Philippines because I love Mozambique, but
yeah.
it is kind of like, no, the Philippines is kind of like the Mozambique of Asia with more people. People are friendly. It's a hot country. It's poor. There's a lot of corruption. Everything is slow and inefficient.
Wow. Which part of Philippines you went to?
Manila.
Manila. You're already in the capital. So that's basically the best
the
they
best
can offer.
part, yeah.
Okay.
But I was also in Maputo in Mozambique, which is also the capital.
Mm-hmm. And still the same? Is there any difference? Manila, Maputo?
Well, Manila has better infrastructure. Like, it is like when they say that, like some African countries are pretty bad shape. It's true.
Yeah. What's the job? What's your job title in the NGO in Mozambique?
Volunteer.
Wait,
I was a volunteer. No, I was a volunteer in the beginning.
Okay.
And then I was a research assistant. Sorry.
You'll be so fucking
Research
hilarious.
assistant.
You'll be so hilarious if you tell everyone that, I work in NGO. What's your job? Volunteer. For 3 years.
No, it was
Actually 4.5.
it was a research. No, but look, they had a good deal. That NGO, they would hire volunteers, for example. They would give you a stipend.
Okay.
The stipend was like $30 a day. That's pretty good.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Exactly. For
Wow.
Taiwanese standards, that's
Yeah.
like a good job.
They give $30 a day for volunteers?
Yes, for your food and.
What's the name of the NGO?
And then they pay for the round trip ticket too.
Really?
Yeah, so it was good. It
So
was like a job.
You can volunteer there without spending any money?
Well, I spent some on food.
Well, yeah, but
Because they would
true.
pay for the boarding. It was actually a very expensive deal for them. So they will get ex-consultants, especially from McKinsey or other other places, BCG or whatever, and then they will use them as volunteers. Like they would not pay us, but they would give us a stipend. And I didn't spend much. I would just eat bread, which is the cheapest thing. So I could actually save on my volunteer stipend.
Your sister said you need bread and Wi-Fi to survive.
Yeah, the hotel had Wi-Fi.
Oh,
Bad
the hotel
Wi-Fi,
did.
but
Wow.
had Wi-Fi. Oh yeah, internet in Mozambique was
Mozambique.
really bad.
I
But that's
can
almost
imagine.
10 years ago, so maybe it's better now.
I mean, 10 years ago, internet was bad everywhere.
It was especially bad there because a fisherman boat hit the optic cables, and then 90% of the country didn't have internet for 3 weeks.
Wow.
And we were like transferring by pen drive, like, are you flying north? Can you take my pen drive to my coworker? This was how information was delivered, yeah, because they were, yeah.
Don't you have fax or landline or that?
No, no landlines.
No landlines.
The landlines, like,
That was
they don't
10 years
have-
ago. They don't have landline?
No, they skipped the whole landline thing and went
Oh,
to the
okay.
cell phone.
went
It's
to
like
the cell phone.
China.
Okay, yeah.
China is like a Mozambique
Yeah.
that became successful.
If you put it that way, every Asian second world, third world country is like a Mozambique in Asia.
No, China is not like Mozambique in Asia. But I
It's
think
just- it's very
Mozambique
successful.
aspires to become like China.
Okay. I mean, China almost got the control of Africa. Anyway.
It has already, yeah. It was
Yeah.
already like that 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I think only now America has noticed.
The BRI, One Belt, One Road.
Yeah,
They
but
already
because
said.
when I got there, that was the first time that people would see me and they saw me and they would say ni hao,
Wow,
ma, and I
they
was
speak
like,
Chinese.
wow, yeah,
Wow.
because they already worked for Chinese people 10 years ago.
Wow.
And then in Brazil, people are still going arigato, sayonara. They still saw
They
Japanese.
thought
So,
you were- yeah.
so it was like a shock.
Wow. And people didn't notice that. That's cool.
So I don't know why coronavirus is not in Africa. Probably because it's too hot, or it's
yeah.
not diagnosed.
Yeah, well, that actually makes sense in scientifically. Yeah, because when it's too hot, it's not as active.
Because there are definitely a lot of Chinese people in Africa.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so Mozambique, and you got so depressed, you start drawing comics.
It wasn't depressed. It just so many things were wrong there.
What do you mean the thing that was wrong? What was
Like
the thing
cops
that's wrong?
would stop foreigners on the streets and ask for the passport, and then if you don't have your original passport with you, they would imply that you needed to give them some bribe.
Oh, that's okay. Just until you say bribe, I was gonna say, oh, that's like Taiwan.
No, they
not the
said
bribe
like,
part.
oh, give us some money for coffee or
Oh,
juice,
wow.
like that.
Wow.
So we were like all the foreigners, all the volunteers or workers, or whatever, we were running away from the cops like we were
Oh shit.
criminals when we just didn't have our passport with us. And then even with the passport, they would still find some fake mistake in the passport, so
Okay.
that
Just a way to get a
to
bribe.
make you
Oh wow.
give them some money.
Wow.
It wasn't that much money really, like maybe 100 NT at the
Yeah.
time. Yeah,
But it's just the feeling.
because they earn very little,
Mm-hmm.
like $50 a month would be their salary, a cop's salary.
Makes sense. I mean, it's understandable. It's not encourageable, but understandable.
So the day the cops approached me, that was the day I started drawing comics.
Oh really? So that you think that's the lowest point? That's the lowest bar?
Yeah, because I was really scared. They have these really long like guns, like
Oh, wow.
long range.
They actually
because,
carry
like,
rifles,
They carry rifles. I'm not sure the ones.
shotguns.
No, I'm not sure the
anything,
ones
just big
who
guns.
stopped me had, but there were like two cops.
Mm-hmm.
And then I didn't want to give them a bribe, so I had to negotiate with them. I said, I'll come back here tomorrow with T-shirts to give you guys. And it was really weird because I was really scared, but then they were like, okay. And then they were talking to each other like I was not there. One cop was saying, she's not coming back tomorrow. And then the other guy's like, no, I think I trust her. I think she'll come back. She's saying she'll
Were
come
they
back.
talking English or?
No, in Portuguese.
Oh,
so I
and-
couldn't understand.
Oh.
I was
They
actually,
thought you couldn't understand, but
they-
actually you speak fluent Portuguese.
Yeah, they caught me taking pictures of a public building, and I said, it's not allowed to take public.
Oh
it's
yeah,
not
of
allowed
course.
to
It's
take
a
pictures
scam.
of the.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then they said, you now have to go to the police station with us. So then I said, okay, I'll go with you guys. And they were like, no, the police station is far. We already told you. It's a little mistake. We warned you. Then you can just pay us some juice and then we'll all be friends. And I was like, I can't do this. This is a bribe. And I'm like, no, who said bribe? You're just treating us to some drinks. I was like, I can't do this. I come from Brazil. I'm really against bribing. So I brought T-shirts. I can give you guys free T-shirts. T-shirt was actually more expensive than bribing in the end. I should have just bribed them.
Yeah.
I know, but I wasn't thinking. So then the next day, I met the guy with T-shirt because then I was like, and they were like,
You
what
actually
colors do
went
you
back
have? They
for
were like,
T-shirt.
what colors do you have? I was like, I have orange, I have blue, I have red, and then one said, I want the orange one. The other one was like, I want the blue one, whatever. So then I brought the two T-shirts back the next day and met one of the cops and then gave it to him, and he was so
Oh, shit.
happy.
Really?
Yeah, because the T-shirt is like a new T-shirt, right? And then like maybe 2 weeks later, that same cop sent me an SMS, like a message saying, "Thank you for the T-shirts." I think he only sent it to me 2 weeks later because that was when he actually had cash to
For
put it
the-
on his cell phone to send the message.
Oh shit.
And then I saved his contact as like corrupt cop, just in case I needed some contact in the police. But the day I talked to them was the day I was like, oh, this is so fucked up. I need to write
Holy
about this.
shit.
And that's when the comic started.
But how did you start it? I mean, did you just get a paper and you started drawing the cops?
Yeah, I had like little colored square papers,
Mhm.
and then I would just draw like little snippets, like a 2-panel or 1-panel comic.
So you were already reading a lot of comics, watching a lot of comics that time.
No, I always read comics
You
as
always,
a kid,
Okay,
like
yeah.
superhero comics or like Little Lulu. My parents used comics to teach us how to read.
Oh.
So comics was always, but I wasn't really drawing it regularly.
Okay. What's your favorite comic when you grow up? When you grow as a kid or now? What's your favorite comic now? I can look it up. I'm definitely haven't
No,
seen.
one of the favorites is Calvin and Hobbes. It stopped. The guy drew for 10 years and he doesn't, only reruns now.
Coughing and
No, Calvin and Hobbes. The little kid with the, you don't know that one? Oh.
I don't know any English
The
comics.
Chinese one, Xiao Heng Li. I used to like Xiao
Xiao Heng
Heng Li. But Xiao Heng Li, the original ones had nothing to read. It was a silent comic. True. Xiao Heng Li was nice. I did not like Lao Fuzi. Xiao Ding Dang, we love Xiao Ding Dang.
yeah,
That's why all my
yeah.
line stickers are Xiao Ding Dang, Doraemon.
I mean, when you were as a kid, you loved Xiao Ding Dang?
Yeah, Xiaotingdang was already there when I was a kid.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, it's like very cool. So we read all the Doraemon stuff, and then also Little Lulu, I think, Peanuts,
Mm-hmm.
and then when I was a teenager, I think Calvin and Hobbes, Hagar the Horrible, and then a lot of the Marvel and DC comics
Okay.
when I was a teenager. Yeah.
What do you like? Do you like the Marvel comics better or the movie better now? Since like, I think Taiwanese rarely really watch the comic, but we watch a lot of Marvel movies, DC movies.
The movies are good. It's like, because Marvel got bought by Disney. Disney
Yeah.
is like a movie making machine. Like the
Yeah.
movies got a lot better after Disney
Yeah,
bought
yeah, yeah.
Marvel, right?
Yeah.
But the comics were good. It depended on the script writer, actually.
Yeah. Do you think it's like Harry Potter and they make movies? Some are good, some are bad. But generally speaking, do you think movies are better? Like the script wise, did they get better after they're made to movies? Or
I think the gap between whatever gap it is between the Marvel comics and Marvel movies is smaller than the gap between the Harry Potter movies and book.
no, okay.
Because the books, Harry Potter books, have so much detail that they
Yeah.
couldn't put into the 3-hour movie.
Yeah, true.
But then Marvel
Marvel's
comics,
just for kids. People don't
it's
really.
not that, yeah. And then they just capture a little bit for the movie, right? And then they
Mhm.
blow it up, so
Yeah.
it gets better probably.
Okay. Okay.
I think Marvel movies might be better than the comics actually, now that I think about it.
How come?
The colors are nicer. Like the comic books have really bad color printing. Sometimes you get like overlapping, like they don't
and they
do
also
the
move.
full
And
color
there's
thing.
like, wow, they can move actually.
Yeah, the special effects now are a lot better, right?
Yeah,
So,
you hear the actual explosion instead of kapoosh.
yeah. Exactly.
Okay. So you started drawing. I've seen a lot of your comics like Pig and Maputo.
Pigs in Maputo.
Pigs and Maputo. Did you start like at the first already Pigs and Maputo, or did you start with something else and then you
No,
were
it
journaling
was
about-
pigs in Maputo.
Really?
Maputo is the capital of Mozambique, so that's why it stayed Maputo, even though I moved out of
Pigs and
Maputo.
Okay. Oh, that's cute.
And pigs is because the pig character is always me. There's one pig that's
Mhm.
always me,
Yeah.
and then so that's why pigs. Like my whole family is pigs.
Okay. Wow. I mean, drawing comics, but how do you know? How do you know the comic is I mean, like doing stand up, you get actual feedback like right away, right? If the audience laugh, they don't laugh. Then you know the joke works or they don't work. But drawing comics, like there's a sense of like you're not sure if this is funny, or you're not sure if this is I don't know. Do you draw by the standard of is this funny or not, or do you just draw whatever you like? Is funniness an important thing in your
Funniness is an important thing. Like I noticed recently that I usually or quite often I start from the last panel.
Mhm.
So like the punchline of the
Oh,
comic.
you start with the punchline first.
I like
That's
a lot
cool.
of times I like to start from the last because I know how the comic is going to end,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't necessarily know the middle
Okay.
or the start.
That's
but
like writing a joke.
yeah, but not all my comics are funny, and I don't know. I don't have feedback because I have like 33 followers maybe, and I think they are all people who know me and
Mhm.
recognize themselves in the comic, and that's why they like it. But I had like a lot of followers when I was dating this guy that was more famous. So all the people
Okay.
were like, "Oh, she's this guy's girlfriend. Let's look at her blog too."
Yeah.
But then once he stopped his blog, then I think people stopped following my blog too.
But you still got a bunch of like people following. Did they stay?
I'm not sure. I used to track that with Google
Mhm.
Analytics,
Mhm.
but maybe like 3 years ago I quit tracking.
Okay.
So I don't know how many hits I get. I don't think too many because I can check from the views.
Mm-hmm.
Like at the peak, there was one comic I made about Brazil that became viral.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like my friend got it from his office, and then he's like, "Oh my God, your comic! Like you became viral."
Really?
Because I was talking about things people ask when you're
Uh-huh.
Brazilian, and there were like 4 comics, and those comics like actually became viral, and then there were like maybe 3,000 hits for that post.
What's the comic about? Do you think I'm able to search it?
If you Google pigs in Maputo, Brazilian probably will show up.
Pigs in
Maputo.
Brazilian.
And then images. No, it should be one panel, so that's already not the right one.
One panel.
Like things people ask when you're Brazilian. Do you want to type the whole thing then? Things people ask.
I want to see. I want to watch.
This is a part of the podcast when it becomes kind of silent. Are you sure that's a good idea?
This is part of the podcast where everyone starts checking their phone. And
No, here. Right. Yeah, that's one of them.
Things people ask because you are Brazilian.
Yeah.
Can you teach me samba?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. What about this one? Did you see the news on the soccer player that killed his wife and chopped her to pieces?
Oh, that was a running news at the time.
It was
like, why is your butt not big, or why you are not hot? Do you know how to do capoeira?
Capoeira? Oh, it's the Brazilian
so those
martial art.
Yeah. So
That's
then
a
that one
stereotype,
became viral, but otherwise, no.
Can you make some
Caipirinhas.
caipirinhas?
It's a drink with the sugar cane alcohol, cachaça with lime.
Like rum?
It's a little bit. No, it's not really like rum. It's transparent.
Okay.
Rum is kind of yellowish, right? But sugar cane alcohol with lime. So that one was the most popular one.
The pig is fatter at that time. Pig is. I mean, just showing the camera.
Have you ever seen like really old Snoopy?
No.
Cartoons?
No. Was it also fatter?
No, but they look different. So I think you just get used,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
the character changes. I don't know why they were fatter.
Yeah, so you got thinner. That's
I think
good.
no, I did not. I got fatter, but the cartoon became cuter.
So your ideal,
like the head became bigger.
Your ideal image of self. your ideal
See,
self.
the head is smaller and the body is bigger.
Yeah.
Now the head is bigger, and
smaller.
I almost don't draw the body because I don't know how to do the feet.
Yeah.
So I tried to cut it. I tried to cut it here. Yeah. That's why I cut everything.
Well, the penguins are cute.
The penguins are still almost the same.
Yeah, still the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, so cute. What's the joke that you always wanted to make it work, but it haven't worked? Do you have that thing? Do you have that joke? I think that's a question I used to ask every comedian. Like every comedian has a joke that they love so much, but they just wouldn't work in life on stage. But I think in comedy you don't have that problem because every comic works. If you think it works, I mean, you think it works.
I think there was one that I tried that didn't bombed, and I never tried again. Well, I never try my sets again usually, but that one bombed, and it bugged me. My last 3 ones. No, it was one that I wanted to defend that people shouldn't be so against lying. Yeah. That lying was a good thing, but I couldn't make that work.
What's the premise? Is that all of the premise? Why people shouldn't be that against lying?
Because lying is not necessarily a bad thing. Like sometimes you just don't want to know the truth. I don't know. There's like many aspects of it.
Why are lying a good thing?
For example, a white lie is a good thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I don't know if it's a good thing, but
except from white lie. I mean, white lie is more basically everything is agreeable. But except from white lie thing, when is lying a good thing?
When is lying not a good thing?
Is it to yourself, of course?
No, but it's like what? Oh, when you lie to yourself?
No, when you lie to other people, it's based on your convenience, right?
Oh, you could be like, I believe you are smart enough to discover the truth by yourself.
Huh.
Or you can delay the discovery of the truth.
Are you referring the situation right now that I can discover the truth?
No, you didn't know, but it's like I don't know. My premise, I don't have the premise thing, but my premise was people get too worked up when they catch someone lying, and I don't think they should get that worked up because it's just part of, it's just something that, it's like being angry because you discover someone pooped and then everybody, like on average, poops at least once a day. So it's like, what's the big deal?
Word, good point. You hear that, Amy?
Like, have you been lying to Amy? Oh my god,
No.
I don't want to witness this. But yeah, it's not a big deal. I just wanted to show that it wasn't a big deal. But I don't know. I don't remember my set. It was just terrible.
Okay.
Yeah, it was terrible.
So that's the joke you wanted to make it worse.
I think I wrote a bad set. I don't remember my set. And then the vegetarian set doesn't really work either.
Which vegetarian
None
set?
of the vegetarian sets. I'm not a very good vegetarian.
No, you
Because
can't.
when people are really vegetarian, they can make a whole set about being vegetarian, right?
Yeah.
I just
You
can
are a
make it
shitty
funny.
vegetarian. You just eat chips all the
But
time.
you make
That's
it-
not a good healthy diet.
Hey, I just read somewhere like a Brazilian posted a meme saying chips are the peace dove of humanity. Because that's something vegans, vegetarians, and carnivores all eat.
like,
and
yeah.
like. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it's deep fried, of course.
I'm not the only vegetarian that likes chips.
Yeah,
You
every
make it
vegetarian
sound like
likes
I'm the
chips.
only one.
That's true, but you only eat chips. That's
Yeah, okay, so sue me. It's still legal. Jeez.
what's you see you sure that's all what's the joke what's your favorite joke from all the stand-up sets you've told before? Do you have one? If not, then fine.
My
Then we'll
favorite
just end
joke
this
from
podcast.
all the. What's your favorite joke? You don't remember my sets. That's the saddest part.
I have a favorite joke.
The
about
masturbation about Taiwan one that you said? No.
yours. Not just that. Also, you should cover half of the boob.
Oh yeah,
for-
that's
for
a very
men
good
too.
trick. I like that one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I like that
because
one.
it drives men crazy. They
Yes,
just kind of want to
it's
see
just so no, it's not. It doesn't work. Just so stupid.
No, but it's like
But the
if you show
concept
one
is-
boob, the guy kind of wants to see the other one. It's so rare. I think it started from another comedian. I don't know.
How
who
did you
said-
think of that?
I don't know
that
if it was
joke?
Louis C.K. No, probably not Louis C.K. Some comedian I think said that when you have access to one boob, it's really rare that you don't have access to the other one. Unless you saw that boob by accident, like
Like she's
in
feeding.
public transport,
Yeah,
or in the public transportation or something.
Okay.
And then like her clothes, right? And then you
Yeah.
kind of saw it sneakily. But then I saw, yeah, you usually have access to both, so it would drive men crazy if you can see only one but not the other one. Like why? Why can't I see the other one?
What
Show
is
me
wrong
the other
with
one.
the
Yeah.
other ones?
Do you have the other one? Right? Like
I mean,
what?
it looks like it's there.
Yeah, that was that kind of, I don't know. I never tried that, but
Yes.
maybe it will work. Maybe it will
Good
work.
to know.
I never tried the trick myself. Yeah, but maybe
It was so funny. Yeah, try it next time.
next time. Okay, 5 years from now,
Yeah, just 5 months. Just 5 months.
when I get a hookup again, I'll try to just show one boob.
I love that joke. Also, Jackie loved that joke. The 全了, you remember him?
What did he do though? He tried to imitate the joke and it
In
was
Chinese,
weird.
yes, it just.
It was weird.
Well, he didn't just copy and imitate.
He
At
tried
least
to do it for
He
balls.
did citation.
Like,
He
I'll
did-
just show one ball. It's like we don't even want to see half your ball. Why would we want to see both, right? It's like that doesn't work for a man. You just can't do boobs, balls like that. Like substitute.
Or just half of your dick, and then just show the latter part of your dick, not the front head. I don't know.
It's just gross, right? Like
It is gross.
yeah, half your dick, like the left half. Like how are you?
The
doing
first,
that
the
half?
front half, the tip, the
You don't show that part.
yeah. I mean, cover it with a sock or like.
But the point is, we show that so that the guy thinks you are more desirable, right? If you only show that, you cover the head of your thing, the woman was going to think you have some venereal disease. So you have some VD.
That's what I'm thinking when you
Yeah.
say you only cover half of your boob. What is wrong with that part?
No, but you kind of want to see.
Yeah.
But I think if it's a woman, it's like, okay, don't show me, just cover everything now and go away. Right? I don't know. I don't think it will work anyway. You can try it next time.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have it. Sorry. Not next time. Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah, I don't know any other joke that I liked. I like the one that I talked about politics. That was the most recent one, I think. that I
Yeah,
liked.
you talk about China and Taiwan, the
I
difference. Because you live in China for almost a year.
No, that's
year.
not the one.
You
That's
live
the
in
one
Beijing
when
for
like
half a
Gani
year.
told me to do a set on politics because he knows I hate
Oh, that one
politics.
sucks. Well, no, actually, at the end, it turns out well, right?
Yeah, I said why I don't like to talk about politics,
Cool.
but I like that one. But I don't think that one went well. I think I bombed.
What's what was the? I think I've heard it a lot of times, but what's the whole observation about you live in Beijing and what's the difference between Taiwan and Beijing?
I'm not sure about Beijing because I live in the outskirts.
Okay.
But
The Chinese culture in general.
the Chinese culture in general is Chinese culture in general. I think the Chinese are more raw. They don't spend time being polite.
Mm-hmm.
They don't feel guilty about not being polite, and they're more direct.
Mm-hmm.
So in some sense, it's horrible because they are impolite, but it's good because they say it straight to your face.
Mm-hmm.
They don't
Yeah.
try to cover up. So it's kind of more efficient that way for me. It's like they're just rude.
Yeah.
And I hear they kind of feel guilty about being rude, so they'll go say something that's kind of
Cover it up.
yeah. And then if you don't understand, and if you're not part of the culture, for a person who grew up here,
Yeah.
they immediately know what that implies.
Yeah.
But I'm come from Brazil, and I'm like, is that a yes or is that a no? Is that good or
Yeah.
is that bad? So that
Yeah.
sucks.
I've heard that complaint from all the foreign friends I have.
Yeah, and then the other thing is that things are uglier there, dirtier.
Mm. In your recent set, you did a comparison with the communism and capitalism.
No, I
right?
haven't said that one yet, but
You
it's
haven't said
like
that
communism is to capitalism, like WeChat is to Line. Like in WeChat, the stickers are all ugly, but they are free.
Mm-hmm.
And then in Line, the stickers are cuter, but then you have to buy them. So it's like communism, things are shitty but free. Capitalism, things are better but not free. That's pretty much the summary, I think. And it's weird because in China, they are trying to put like a little bit of capitalism, but not really. It was
mean, they
weird.
have
Like,
a
you know what was really
capitalism there.
weird?
Mm-hmm.
I put the Chinese Tinder,
Yeah, 10-10.
1010. And they have some stickers that come with 1010, but they are locked. And you can only unlock the free stickers if you invite your friends to join 1010. I was like, whoa. Tell everyone that you're in 1010 and add your friends so that everybody knows what you're doing. And you get free stickers.
Well, apparently stickers are very attractive, very desirable. Is 10-10 a thing? Like is 10-10 comes with a shame in China? With Chinese people now?
I don't know.
You don't, yeah.
Because I was with undergrads and they were like virgins.
Yeah.
So none of them, you are not supposed to say like, hey, I have this dating app.
Oh, yeah, true.
But I don't think it's a shame. Not from the photos I saw in the profiles. People didn't care. People posted pictures that they were in the bathroom or like whatever, in the car, just like here. It's worse actually because you can't put scenery. So they actually put some profile.
Oh, yeah. Okay, you mean 10-10, they censor if you only put scenery on the profile instead of your headshot.
Yeah, they will say this is not a real headshot, so they won't accept it.
I mean, scenery is like nothing.
And then you feel like someone is always watching you, like sexting or dating or whatever, because every time you want to write anything that's more like sexual, and like 1010 was put a message saying, oh, this could be blocked. Person might find you offensive.
Really?
Are you sure you want to send this? Yeah.
Wow. So it's like all of your message are being like supervised. on
Probably
10-10.
by like a program. Yeah. So I couldn't say like 你想上床吗?
Then how are you gonna say?
Then
if you
it's
wanna
like
die?
一起睡, then it's okay. Or 到床上. It was like
that's
weird. It was
that's
like
so
people could
horrible.
understand, but you could just some expressions you were like.
It would be extra horrible if that's not done by program. It's like someone like this thing on the
There's a
laptop.
lot
It's
of
like,
people on 1010.
oh, this is your dirty talk. Oh my god.
I gotta go. I gotta say this again. No, or if they say, let's take this conversation to WeChat. If the guy sends that message, then WeChat, no, 1010, sorry, I keep confusing the two.
10-10.
1010 would send a message saying, is this guy bothering you? Do you want to block him? And then if you say no, then they say, happy chatting. Every time somebody like suggests, take the conversation out of 1010 to WeChat,
Wow.
then 1010 would send a message.
That is so annoying.
Yeah, it was pretty annoying.
It's like a Chinese mom. It's like a Chinese mom watching you hook up.
Yeah, I feel like kind of like Godfather, you know, when he's dating and then the whole family is behind. I was like, oh, this is like a virtual online dating with the whole family, Chinese family,
With the whole Chinese
the big
mafia.
country watching you date.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, so you live in Taiwan now. Do you think you are happy?
No, I'm happy that I'm not near the virus.
No, that's good.
Not as near.
It's like, this is like the question I wanted to ask every comedian. Like, are you happy in general?
I'm happy in general, yeah. And Taiwan is like a very easy place to live, I think. It's convenient, like I said.
But you
it's
always say
safe.
you're not happy living in Taiwan.
Because people are not funny here, somehow, on average.
Sorry.
I've seen funnier people. And like the poor,
Okay, sorry.
poor countries have funnier people.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
So Taiwan is not poor. Good job.
Yeah, but if you go to US, do you think you will find more funny people? or
No,
less?
I didn't like the U.S. either.
So, okay, so through all the logic, you should go to a very undeveloped country? Not developed country?
Yeah, I kind of want to go to Papua New Guinea, but they have cannibals there, so maybe it's not a good idea. I'm fatter now, so it makes me a better target.
Just give them chips. It's like everything. It's the one
Like
thing
they'll
that
be
makes
like,
peace.
the appetizer. Now let's go to the human, the fat human, bacon. I don't know. Yeah.
Ask them to be vegetarian.
But why are poor people funnier? Because they have to be.
I think it's also the thing. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they have to be. I mean, like in Taiwan, most of the people say that the original people are funny. 原住民很好笑, but it's kind of true. They are really humorous and they talk joke and they just hang out and party a lot. But part of the reason is because they already know there's no way they can get a decent job. They can go to work at 101, like in Xinyi district. They kind of already know that their life is gonna stop here. There's a ceiling there, so everyone's fucked up. So who cares? Let's just drink.
So they're funny because they drink.
They're funny because they drink and they have that realization that your life is gonna be fucked up. I think that's my interpretation.
But then Greenland people are like that too, and I
Greenland
don't think
people
they're
have-
funny.
Oh yeah, because Greenland. I mean, come on, it's Greenland.
No, right? They're like part of Denmark.
And
I
that's
think.
also
I saw a
tourism. That's
documentary.
also Greenland. Oh, you mean Greenland? Okay, I thought you said Greenland.
No, that's
sorry.
that island that's part of
Greenland,
Denmark
Greenland,
and
yeah.
has Aboriginal people too, and I think
Yeah.
they drink and they don't have. But I don't think they're funny.
Are
Well,
they-
I don't
are they
know. Maybe
funny?
they are funny. But the documentary made it look like it was really
How
sad.
are they gonna be funny? It's always snow and cold outside. Making fun of what? Oh, you're being so cold.
So,
Hey.
yeah, people from cold places
I think it's harder
to be humorous. But you have British people that are funny, right?
Do you think you're gonna find funny people in London, like as easily?
But you
as
have
in
good
in-
British comedians.
I mean, that's pretty biased. Maybe they just go abroad. Like, not every not every Indians are funny, but not every Indians are smart. But the Indians that go abroad might be the smart ones. So people think Indians are smart.
Oh, that thing about people who are abroad. I think if you meet people from out of the country,
Mm-hmm.
like for example,